And hello fellow tankers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and as promised, we are back in T95. You guys wanted to see more of the T95 gameplay, so I had a couple of decent games that I can still show on the channel, so I thought may as well I put them together side by side or back to back, whichever way you want to call it. And that's what we're going to do. First game is on map Westfield. And this is the map that you don't want to get in a tank like this, because in many cases, by the time you get to the fight, the game might be over. That's first thing. Second thing is, if artillery is in play, you just a piñata for artillery, because on a big open map like this, that is the problem. Now, fortunately enough, there's only one RD on the opposition team, and it looks like that RD is in a platoon with a bunch of other tanks. So, regardless, I'm not going to stay in the back and do nothing with this tank. I will spawn on this side of the map, which is actually really good, because I could try to come up here. I was thinking going up into position A5 or A4, somewhere around there, and from there on top of that ridge over here, or that hill, so that I can get shots across into the guys poking the ridge at C3, where our medium tank is right now. So that was the idea. And then if we were winning, I would push over with my team or defend the base, depending on what the opposition team does. But as you can see, majority of our team is going to that area, which is a good thing, because the most important thing on this map is winning quadrants A1 to C3, that area of the map. So I'm in a position now, as you can see. I'm just kind of waiting until all of our tanks get into position, and I'm waiting to see if anybody gets spotted. So I'm not being overly aggressive, but it seems like we're not spotting much here, and it looks like the opposing team sent all of their tanks to the other side of the field. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn around and head back, because I know we're going to lose the other side. The two tanks that we have in E0, they will die definitely quite soon. So I want to get myself in the position where I can actually shoot these guys. And me being slow, I'm keeping that in mind. So that's where map awareness comes into play, guys. By map awareness, I'm able to get to these guys here, and I'm able to put shots in. Unfortunately, first shot misses. We're going to try to line up another shot. And as you can see, I have a bunch of shots over here into all of these guys. So it's just a matter of picking and choosing who I want to shoot first. So we focus this Wheezy because of his rate of fire. We take him out of the game. Fortunately, we set him on fire. And with the big gun, like on T95, you set people on fire almost all the time. E95 is my next target, or is it? No, I switch my attention to Conqueror. Conqueror is more important, in my opinion, so we put a shell into the Conqueror. We're going to back off a little here, and this time we're going to try to line up a shot at T54, is it? No, we're going to go with E75, and that's a good choice actually, because T54 would be hard to hit, so may as well focus on a slower target, which would be E75. So target selection is the key here as well, guys. Making sure you select proper targets if you have a lot of them available to you. We're going to try to take this E75 out of the game now. Yes, we take him out of the game. And now we're going to get ourselves in a position where we can shoot these guys on the bottom. That hill on the right hand side can serve as a protection, so I can get into that position and hopefully start putting shells into the guys on the bottom. As you can see, we see this T54, but this guy is firing heat, and he's going to be penning us at will pretty much every time with heat rounds. Probably shooting our bottom plate, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so this T54, our friendly T54, is in the way here. And the reason I went in front of him is it wasn't a dick move, honestly. I wanted to protect him. But in reality, if you look at his barrel, he's got 3 marks on his barrel. I don't think he needs any protection from me. But, you know, at that point in time, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was just paying attention to protecting his hull. I didn't want our enemies to hit him. I need him in a game. That was basically my thinking, right? Anyway, he can look out for himself. That's why you can see me going forward here. I want this T54 to be shooting at me, not my T54. And that's the reason I did that. There's something else shooting from top of the hill. So at this time I'm gonna back off a little, but our T54 is making a move right now. He's gonna go 1v1 versus T54 on the bottom, but we're gonna try to support him here. So we're just gonna line up a shot in that particular area, and if enemy's T54 overexposes like he does here, we take him out of the game. Now there's something else up there shooting, but we don't know what it is right now. So we're gonna try to get ourselves a little bit of higher ground. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna try to climb up that hill, which is gonna take a while, unfortunately, and see if we can put any shells into whoever gets spotted on the other side of the map. I'm hoping T54 can provide some vital spots for me, but as you can see, there's many guns up here, so getting any more damage in this situation would be extremely difficult. So that's the thing with T95. It's very situational tank. If you get to the fight, then you can have a big impact on the fight. If you don't get to the fight, you will not have any impact on the fight, unfortunately, and you'll be one big piñata for everybody else to feast on. The key thing with T95 is to make your decision quickly, because if you don't make your decision quickly as far as where you need to go and you make it too late, then you cannot get into the fight, unfortunately. So here we're going into the middle of the map. We're trying to get a little bit extra damage. Hopefully we can break 5k barrier here. As you can see, we're sitting at almost 5k damage. We have some assisted, some spotted damage, but not too much. So my hope here was that if these guys get spotted, we can do something still. This M46 Patton looks like a good candidate to, chew a little bit more damage off of. But look what happens here. This is going to be ridiculous. I'm gonna hit side of his turret in a split second here. I can't find a shot. There it is. Yeah. Hello. I don't know what this game does sometimes, guys. That was side turret shot with huge alpha shell that I have and huge penetration shell that I have on this tank. That should have been a 10. But obviously the game doesn't want to give me any more damage. So I will not get any more damage in this game, I don't think. Which is quite unfortunate. But still, we're going to look for a last shot here at this T95. He should get spotted eventually somewhere over here. There he is. He's only at 12 HP, and there's no point for me to switch shells, so I'm going for a weak spot shot, and we do miss that shot. So yeah, that brings the game to a close. But because we were responsive to what opposition was doing, and we got back in time, and we had our gun in the game, we managed to put some damage, which is quite nice. We managed to protect our side of the map, and at the end we finished with 4.9k damage, almost 5k. Not much assisted, finish in second spot to our T54, who almost did 5k damage. Incredible game by him. So yeah, I shouldn't have to protect him at all. He held his own anyway, so it wasn't needed. Okay, let's skip to the second game in T95, and in this game we are a top tier. We're on map Fjords. There are 2 artilleries on the opposing team, and on this map with T95 there's probably 2 positions to go to. One would be the central area just in the middle of the map, but if you go in the middle of the map at location E6, E7, somewhere around there, you gotta be careful because of the artillery. If there's artillery in play, they can focus you and take you out of the game. Another option is to try to push the F line completely if you have enough friendlies coming with you, but then you're exposing yourself to flanking fire. It's quite dependent on whether anybody's sitting at E4, which normally there is someone there. I wouldn't push J5 at all, because that's way off, and by the time you get to the fight might be over. What I chose to do here is go to location A9, simply because I have some protection from Artie there, and second, you can always turn around and defend the base from here, from this location, and it's not too far. The worst part is getting up the hill, but once you get up the hill and you're in position, it's not that hard to get back. So I'm hoping, and this is usually a hope, especially at the beginning of the game when you don't see many red tanks spotted. My hope was that majority of the opposing team will actually come to this area, area B8, where the brawling can happen. If that is the case, we can utilize this tank to best of its potential. Remember what I said in the past, with heavily armored tank destroyers, you want to be able to push the flank. You don't want to be sitting at the base, you don't want to be sniping. You want to be able to help your teammates push the flank, if there is a flank. Like on a big map, like Westfield, like what I've showed you before, there is no flank. There's sort of one big open map, then you gotta make your decision on where you want to go. But in this situation, there is a very tiny corridor here at B8, and I thought that's where I'll bring my tank. And it actually turns out to be a good decision because the majority of the opposing team, and they have bunch of heavy tanks, they're all going to be in this area. And I think the opposing team has two Type 4s, I think, Tier 9 Japanese heavy tanks, which have a lot of armor. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle because basically for the majority of the battle, I think the opposing team is gonna pretty much not pay attention to me. And this is exactly what they should have done. They should probably take everybody else out of the game but me, because I'm the one that's probably hardest to pen. So they did the right thing. But anyway, we'll see what we can do here. I switched to my premium rounds here because we want to be able to go through those Type 4s through the turret frontally. So I want to be able to put those shells in and not bounce. So we chew a lot of health out of this Type 4 over there. Now we're going to focus the second Type 4, I think. Or are we? Let's see. Oh no, we're going to take this guy out of the game, which is too bad. We could have put 800, 750 alpha to somebody else. As you can see, Artie is actually targeting me here, but it just, I guess, splashed right beside my tank, and they weren't able to damage me much. But even for Artie, they have to put really good shot in here over that hill on the right hand side. It's not that easy, right? So one thing I have to be mindful is these guys that are poking over on the left side, because they could be putting shells into my side. Here Artie hits me again. This time it does damage me for quite a bit, but at the same time, if you look at the score, we're heavily losing the other flank, and we send a lot of tanks to the other flank, but for whatever reason we lost the other side. Here we take out the Type 4, the second Type 4, which is good. We're going to continue working this position as much as we can. Like I said, this is great. We have a lot of targets. This M103 seems like he wants some, but he falls back. So we kind of aim a shot, trying to aim a shot at this E75, but he decides not to fight us. So we're going to try the Cupola shot here on the M103, but he wiggles pretty good, actually. There I should have probably aimed better. I thought I was expecting him to move up again, and that was a wrong prediction. I should have just moved my cursor over there. And my reload is unfortunately long, so that's the thing with T95. You want to make sure you aim your shots properly and fire. Try not to miss any of the shots, because if you do, then your long reload is going to stop you potentially from getting that damage. But as you can see, just presence of T95 being there creates a lot of difficulties for these guys. Now, I'm going to make a mistake here. This is a huge mistake, and I shouldn't have done that. I decided to push them, and they both pen me. What I should have probably done was I should have backed off. Do not poke over the ridge. I should have turned to the right a little bit and still use the gun depression on this tank. Don't show my bottom plate, because it's extremely hard to hit the cupolas regardless if you kind of a little bit hold down. But because I wasn't hold down anymore, these guys managed to pen me, and so did this M103. Was able to put shells into me, and he takes me out of the game. But we were able to hold this flank. I mean, eventually we are gonna lose everything, because basically, you know, Reds pretty much overcrowd and overwhelm everything, and weren't able to pick up the win for this. But we still had a very decent game in this tank, and that's exactly where you want to put this tank in those types of situations. So I thought this game was worth showing. Plus it's a decent damage game, 5.2k damage, not much assisted because we were basically brawling pretty much. We finished on top of the team with 3 kills. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out CloneGuy72 and Garadingi. Links to their channels are in the description section below. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit checking out.